Welcome back to House of Hendrix, where every post is a riff on the legacy he left behind. The man who didn't just play guitar, he redefined what a guitar could even. Think about it. The dude was like a lightning strike to the soul of music. So today, we're cranking it up to 11 for all the artists who've channeled that Hendrix spirit. Whether they're tearing through his iconic riffs or just tapping into that raw freedom he embodied, this one's for them. First up, we're heading down south to Texas, where a young Stevie Ray Vaughan was touched by the voodoo chili himself. You can practically hear Jimi's influence in every note Stevie played, but his version of Little Wing. Hendrix's original was this delicate, almost fragile thing. But Stevie, he took that song and poured his heart and soul into it, turning it into this bluesy, soulful exploration of love and loss. It's like he took Jimi's blueprint and built a whole new freaking cathedral on top of it. And that's the thing about Hendrix's music, right? It wasn't just about the notes, it was about the feeling. When you hear Stevie play, you can feel that connection to Jimi's spirit. He took Hendrix's fire and forged his own path with it. Now, who would have thought that a band like The Cure, known for their dark, introspective soundscapes, would ever cover Jimi Hendrix? And when The Cure took on Purple Haze, they made it their own in a way that would make even Jimi crack a smile. Gone was the fiery, psychedelic explosion of the original. In its place, Robert Smith and the boys crafted this haunting, atmospheric masterpiece. It's like they took the raw energy of Hendrix's music and filtered it through their own unique lens of goth and new wave. Smith's voice, a mournful croon, weaves its way through the sonic tapestry, painting a picture of psychedelic darkness. They took a classic and made it their own, proving that Hendrix's influence could reach even the darkest corners of the musical landscape. Hold on to your hats, kids, because things are about to get a little weird. We're diving into the wonderfully strange world of Devo, a band known for their robotic movements and energy dome helmets. So, what happens when these pioneers of synth-punk tackle a Hendrix classic like Are You Experienced? Well, get ready for a wild ride. Devo's cover isn't just a reinterpretation. It's a complete deconstruction and reassembly of Hendrix's masterpiece. They stripped away the bluesy swagger, the psychedelic jams, and replaced them with their own brand of angular riffs and pulsating synths. The result is less of a cover and more of a sonic collision, a head-on crash between Hendrix's cosmic blues and Devo's robotic new wave. It's jarring, it's unexpected, and it's utterly brilliant. They took a song that was already pushing the limits of its time and launched it into the future. Chapter 4. Eddie Van Halen. Eruption, in the Age of Hendrix. Let's talk about Eddie Van Halen, the man who could make a six-string sing, scream, and weep with just his two hands. Now, Eddie might not have directly copied Hendrix's style, but you can't deny the influence. It's like Hendrix lit the fuse, and Eddie was the one who launched the firework into the stratosphere. Think about it. Both of these guys were innovators, pushing the boundaries of what the hell a guitar could even do. Hendrix was setting guitars on fire, playing with his teeth, and wringing sounds out of the instrument that nobody thought possible. And Eddie? Well, he took that ball and ran with it. He was tapping, diving, bombing, and pulling off harmonics that would make your head spin. He was a one-man revolution, and you can bet your ass that Hendrix's spirit was right there with him, cheering him on. Chapter 5. Prince, the Purple One's Purple Rain. Prince, man. What can you even say about Prince? He was like Hendrix reborn, a whirlwind of talent and charisma who could command a stage like no other. The dude was a musical chameleon, blending genres with effortless cool, and his guitar playing, pure fire. Just like Hendrix, Prince wasn't content with being confined to one box. He could shred with the best of them, but he could also lay down the funk, get soulful, and make you melt with a single note. He was a master of his craft, and he knew how to use his guitar to express the full spectrum of human emotion. And let's not forget the stage presence. Prince, in his flamboyant outfits and with his undeniable swagger, was a true showman. He knew how to captivate an audience, how to make them feel like they were witnessing something truly special. Chapter 6. Slash Appetite for Distortion, a Hendrixian Legacy. Now let's talk about Slash, the top-hatted gunslinger of Guns N' Roses, a man whose bluesy, ferocious solos have become the stuff of legend. He's the embodiment of rock and roll swagger, and you can hear echoes of Hendrix in every wailing note he rings from his Les Paul. Slash's playing is all about raw emotion, about channeling that primal energy through his guitar. Just like Hendrix, he understands the power of a well-placed bend, a searing vibrato, a note held just long enough to make your spine tingle. He knows how to make the guitar sing, scream, and whisper, often all in the same solo. Slash might have added his own swagger and style to the mix, but the Hendrix influence is undeniable. Chapter 7. Lenny Kravitz. It ain't over till it's Hendrix. Lenny Kravitz, man, the name itself just oozes cool. He's a modern-day Renaissance man musician, songwriter, producer, style icon. And just like Jimi, Lenny's a force of nature who blends genres like it's nobody's business. But more than that, he's carried the torch of Hendrix's spirit, both musically and culturally. Lenny's always been vocal about Jimi's influence. He gets it, you know? He understands that Hendrix wasn't just about playing guitar, he was about breaking down barriers. He fused funk, rock, soul, and psychedelic influences into his own unique sound, always pushing boundaries and defying expectations. He brought back the spirit of those classic Hendrix shows, where the music was raw, the energy was electric, and anything felt possible. Now, you might be surprised to see Joni Mitchell's name on a list about Jimi Hendrix's legacy. She's not known for fiery solos or psychedelic jams, but trust me on this one. Joni, in her own way, was just as much of a guitar revolutionary as Hendrix. She just did it with open tunings, unorthodox chord voicings, and a poet's soul. See, Jimi wasn't just about volume and distortion. He was about pushing the boundaries of what the guitar could do, exploring new sounds and textures. And Joni, she was right there with him, just in a different corner of the sonic landscape. She approached the guitar like a painter approaches a canvas, using open tunings to create these lush, evocative landscapes of sound. Joni might have been quieter, more introspective, but she was just as fearless in her exploration of the guitar's possibilities. Gary Clark Jr., man. This dude is the real deal, a modern-day bluesman with a voice that could melt steel and guitar chops that would make Hendrix proud. He's carrying the torch of that raw, soulful blues rock into the 21st century. And let me tell you, the flame is burning brighter than ever. Clark Jr.'s got that same fire in his belly, that same ability to make the guitar sing and weep with raw emotion. He can go from a whisper to a scream in a heartbeat, bending notes with a ferocity that would make your head spin. But it's not just about the shredding. Clark Jr. understands the importance of space, of letting the music breathe. He knows when to hold back, when to let a single note hang in the air, and when to unleash a torrent of sound. Listen to songs like Bright Lights or When My Train Pulls In. You'll hear echoes of Hendrix in his playing. Gary Clark Jr. is living proof that Hendrix's legacy is alive and well. You know, when we talk about Hendrix's legacy, it's easy to get caught up in the music. And don't get me wrong, the music is everything. But Jimi's impact went way beyond the notes he played. He was a style icon, a visual artist as much as a musical one, and his influence on fashion and stage presence is still felt today. Think about that iconic Woodstock performance. Hendrix in his psychedelic bandana, fringed jacket, and those tight, colorful pants, wielding his Stratocaster like a weapon of mass sonic destruction. It was a moment that defined a generation, and it cemented Hendrix's status as a counterculture icon. He wasn't afraid to be bold, to be flamboyant, to challenge the norms of what a rock star should look like. He embraced color, texture, and pattern, creating a visual language that was as unique and expressive as his music. From Prince to Lenny Kravitz, from Slash to Lady Gaga, countless artists have taken inspiration from Hendrix's bold fashion sense and his electrifying stage presence. Jimi Hendrix left this world way too soon, but his music, his spirit, it never really left us. It's like this invisible thread connecting generations of musicians, inspiring them to pick up a guitar and chase that same magic. His legacy isn't some dusty museum piece. It's a living, breathing thing. It's in the way a young kid feels the first time they hear Purple Haze, in the way a seasoned musician still gets chills when they listen to Little Wing. Jimi reminded us that music is about more than just notes on a page. It's about freedom, about expression, about pushing the boundaries of what's possible and making the guitar speak a language that words can't even touch. And that's a language that will never die.